Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
San Antonio police investigating a deadly situation involving one of their own. An officer in his patrol unit hit a man crossing a West Side street last night. That man later dying.
The night team's John Paul Baraja sat down with the victim's niece today. She explained they have been calling for better lighting in that area for months.
Police lights and crime scene tape covered the West Commerce and Northwest 39th Street intersection for a fatal crash where a man was hit. Only this time, the driver in question is a San Antonio police officer who was in his patrol car.
It's hard because I never thought it was going to be one of my family members that was going to pass away there. And the way he passed away was awful.
Melinda Herrera is a niece of the 62-year-old victim identified by family as Feliciano Jimenez, better known as Leo in the neighborhood. This is surveillance video from inside a convenience store at the intersection where Leo was hit. According to his family, he went in to check if he had enough money for groceries. He did, and was supposedly going across the street to the Family Dollar, but moments later.
The officer didn't see that individual to the last minute. He attempted to miss striking that pedestrian, but he did strike that pedestrian.
Michelle Ramos, a public information officer with SAPD, explained the officer in question was responding to a call for a fight when he hit Leo, adding the area is dark, something Herrera has been trying to get the city to address since December.
Flashing lights. There's no stripes there where they cross. There's nothing. No crosswalk. No crosswalk. No nothing. You're playing roulette there. We don't need no more people to die there. We don't want other people to go through what we're going through.
We reached out to Councilwoman Terry Castillo, and they sent us about Herrera's request for safer streets. And Castillo's team sent us a statement that read in part that the family deserves accountability and answers, and that she wants to work with the family to address the concerns at that intersection in question. We also reached out to SAPD about any updates in the case. They did not get back to us, but we do know that there are 2 active investigations, criminal investigation, and also an administrative one at Public Safety Headquarters. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. Tonight, the conflict in Ukraine feels very close to one San Antonio family who has adopted 6 children from the now war-torn country.
They tell the night team's Lee Waldman seeing the country and people they love hurting is almost too much to bear.
There's never a quiet moment in the Barnett household. With 8 children, that's to be expected.
Copeland was our first adoption, and we adopted him at birth in 2002. Silas, and we adopted him from Texas Foster Care, and we got him in the summer of 2008.
Those were Stephanie's U.S. adoptions.
In October of 2011, we landed on U.S. soil with Teague, Trenton, and McLean. End of March 2015, landed on U.S. soil with Bowen, Chesney, and Rollin.
Yes, the other 6 were adopted from Ukraine.
We found out about the plight of orphans with special needs in different countries around the world.
All 6 of her Ukrainian children have Down syndrome. The family has one man to thank for making all of these adoptions happen.
His name is Serge Zevlever.
Zevlever has dual citizenship between his home country of Ukraine and the U.S.
His heart is in adoption, specifically children with special needs.
For decades, he's gone to orphanages and helped pair kids with loving homes. When fighting broke out in Ukraine, he knew he couldn't leave.
That's what he gave his breath, his life for.
According to Zevlever's family, he helped get a U.S. family across the Ukrainian border to Poland last Friday and then returned to Kyiv to fight. Serge was killed the next day.
About our children would not be here, and all of the other children would not be here because of Serge.
The man affectionately called Papa by so many orphans, gunned down in a war to protect the country he loved.
This man, what a hero. He gave his life. You know, he laid his life down.
Stephanie says she's heartbroken over his death, but there's a silver lining. Zevlever's story is being shared on social media over and over again, and it's putting a spotlight on international adoptions of children with special needs. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. His legacy will live on through all of those children.
Outside with live cam tonight, cloudy, very muggy, with temperatures sitting near 70 currently, but not for much longer. And after what was a warm weekend, we have a real shock to the system coming in overnight with the first of 2 cold fronts over the next week. So let's check out today's almanac. 68. Our morning low, our average low this time of year is 50, so much warmer than average to start and more than 10 degrees warmer than average this afternoon. We landed at 83 at the airport in San Antonio today, but some spots even managed to sneak into the upper 80s and low 90s. Check out this map of Texas temperatures currently. You know, in the state of Texas looks like a popsicle. Some changes are on the way. We've got a lot of warmth across the southern tier of the state, but a cold air mass is moving south, and you will notice the change first thing in the morning. I'll get you ready for your Monday and the week ahead coming up in just a little bit. Tim.
Thank you, Katie. Taking a look now at other stories we've been following today. Instead of starting his first day of work at the Bexar County Jail, this man was booked into the jail today. He was arrested on an active warrant for a child sex crime. 20-year-old Alucard Harris was wanted for online solicitation of a minor with intent for sexual contact. He was arrested yesterday and was supposed to begin working as a temporary jailer tomorrow. BCSO deputies were called to a home for an outcry of sexual assault involving a minor. Upon further investigation, the victim identified Harris through a Snapchat, saying that is where he allegedly tried to talk with her. Harris's bond is set at $100,000. Meanwhile, a man is in critical condition after police say an argument with another man led to a shooting over on the city's west side. This all happened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon over on Alsop Street. Police say the 2 men were arguing over property before one of them pulled out a gun, shooting the other in the chest. The victim taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. The suspect took off, but was later located by officers and arrested.
A man is recovering after police say he was hit by a vehicle on the city's east side. Police say the 26-year-old man was walking on Southeast Loop 410, the access road. They say there are no sidewalks and minimal lighting there. A driver approaching saw the man and tried to avoid hitting him, but was unable to dodge him in time. He sustained serious injuries, but is now in stable condition. The driver who hit him took off. Police say when they are caught, they will be charged with failure to stop and render aid.
Tonight, CPS Energy warning customers of scammers calling and asking for payments. If you receive one of those calls that appear to be from CPS Energy and the caller tells you to dial another number and make a payment, you should just hang up. CPS has received several reports from callers about spoof numbers calling them. If you receive one of these calls, CPS Energy urges customers to record the phone number the person is telling you to call. Then you should hang up and report it. Residential customers can report these scam calls at 210-353-2222, while commercial customers should dial 210-353-3333.
To Ukraine now, and officials and their plea for supplies, reports of war crimes as well, what U.S. officials are accusing Russian President Vladimir Putin of doing.
Plus a second straight day and a second straight ceasefire broken, plus the companies now cutting ties with Russia. ABC's Adam Dimbert from New York.
As the fighting in Ukraine intensifies, a plea for more aid and more supplies. U.S. officials say there are credible reports of deliberate attacks on civilians by Russia. A war crime.
We need unity, we need pressure, we need sanction, we need weapon support.
The UN says more than 300 civilians, including children, have been killed, warning the toll is likely to go much higher, most of the casualties caused by explosives. For the second straight day, Russia reportedly breaking a ceasefire in Mariupol. The aim was to give people a chance to leave. The mass exodus entering a new phase. 1 million people entering Poland in the last 11 days. ABC's Phil Lipoff is in Lublin with this Ukrainian family. 2 days ago, 4-year-old Timka was hiding in his basement near Kyiv. He tells his mom they needed to run from the bombs. His 5-year-old cousin Anna comforted by her dog Chip, who escaped with them. More than 200,000 Ukrainians also sheltering in Moldova, a former Soviet republic. Among them, Maria Sherpovskaya. I'm from Donetsk, she says. They bombed before, and now they're bombing much more, and now we are here in this situation, and Moldova people are helping. Thank you. Earlier in the day, Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Moldova showing his support. And in Selma, Alabama, Vice President Harris with this message.
Today, the eyes of the world are on Ukraine and the brave people who are fighting to protect their country and their democracy.
As more companies cut ties with the Kremlin, Netflix cutting service and TikTok suspending live streaming. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
A local church holding a special prayer service today for those in Ukraine. Both Ukrainian and Russian congregation members and worship leaders opened their doors for the public to join them in prayer. This happened at the God Will Provide service in Burney. It included worship songs in Russian and Ukrainian. Each of the pastors spoke in Russian but had English translators on stage. They spoke of the devastating war but took solace in their faith.
Today is a good opportunity for people to receive hope. Hope in Jesus Christ, hope that there's a future. And even if things don't turn out the way that we want them to turn out, it's still all in God's hands.
The church also promised to donate all of the offering today to Ukraine. They've been working to collect medicine and other supplies to send over to their sister churches there.
Back here in San Antonio, a day of remembrance that marks a major chapter in Texas history. Dawn at the Alamo has been a long-standing tradition, and today many gathered at the local landmark. The fall of the Alamo happened back on March 6, 1836. Today marks 186 years since that historic battle ended at the Alamo. People from around Texas visiting the Alamo today to celebrate and honor the special day.
This is just part of who we are. So we wanted to come and honor those men that gave their lives on both sides and just celebrate what is Texas.
That man and his son traveled to Alamo to the Alamo City from Abilene. JD tells us he is a member of the Sons of the Republic of Texas. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, 911 dispatchers in Pittsburgh say they are being overworked. Why they believe a strike planned for St. Patrick's Day will get them the help they need. Plus, truckers continuing their protest for freedom over vaccine and mask mandates, making their way now to D.C. What they are demanding the White House do, or else they'll keep protesting.
And there are numerous charter schools around San Antonio. During the pandemic, some students may have been falling behind. Up next, how an area mom is helping her kids move forward through technology at charter schools. Some San Antonio school districts include several charter schools. In fact, SAISD has an entire section of its website devoted to in-district charter school programs. As part of Leading SA, our Max Massey talked to the head of San Antonio Moms about how technology is helping to navigate the process.
Guys, yes, it is important to note the huge growth in specialized charter schools that we've seen in our area over the last few years. There are public and private charter schools revolving around certain subjects like technology, medicine, even law. Inga Cotton, the head of SA Charter Moms, she joined us and we talked about a lot. We talked about schools and we talked about the charter school process.
So I think for my own kids, they experienced distance learning in the pandemic, and it made them feel sort of disconnected with their teachers and their peers. And in order to get them re-engaged, I tried to really listen to them about what their dreams were for what they wanted to be when they grew up. And they both spoke up that they want careers in technology. And so I researched and found a charter school that specializes in technology. And so they do all their core classes, but they also get electives and clubs that feed into the careers that they're interested in. They get to interact with people working in those fields. And it's gotten my kids much more engaged and motivated to reconnect with school and think about their future. And I think that's what folks are ready for, is that we've experienced so much disruption and trauma from the pandemic, but it's time to think about a brighter future and how we can help our kids get ready for that.
You can see our full conversation right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. We have Leading SA every Sunday at 8 a.m. So guys, we'll see you next weekend.
All right, let's talk gas prices. We are seeing daily increases at the pump for about the past week. The question now, though, when will prices begin to stabilize, or even better, when will they start to drop? Those are the questions everyone wants answers to. Unfortunately, when we put the question to AAA of Texas, the answer we got was no one really knows. The follow-up question to that: what about 50 million barrels of reserve oil the U.S. and other world powers are going to dip into to drive down prices? This was the answer.
Its impact will probably not be as much as most drivers would want it to be. It will, help kind of maybe slow down a little bit the increase in prices, but it's not going to reverse that.
Armbruster says they aren't quite sure when we will hit a peak or start to see stabilization in the gas prices, but he does believe We will certainly hit $4 in the days and weeks to come. So there you go.
Something else that's not stable, our weather.
It seemed pretty stable the last couple days. We were warm, even though it looked like winter out there. Now we're going to go back and have a taste of winter.
We are in, even though it's not technically spring yet, we are in full spring.
Full spring, yes.
And then we're going to dip back into winter for a little bit, and then maybe another round of full spring before actual spring. So just a lot to keep up with here. This is going to be a great week to utilize the KSAT weather app. I'm kind of trying to sell you on it, but it's a free download. But we work really hard to keep that updated and current for you, so go ahead and download that. Look, it pops up in the bottom, in the corner of the screen. Download it, update it, so you can keep up with the weather this week because there is a lot going on. Felt very springish today, another unseasonably warm day with high temperatures in the 80s, even upper 80s, low 90s as far south as Laredo, but changes, they are a-coming. So a high of 83 today, short sleeves weather for sure. Cold front tonight puts our temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the 50s. So this will be a doozy of a cold front, that's for sure. Upper 60s in the hill country, 70s elsewhere. Not a cold front in sight yet. You have to go a bit farther north for that. And I don't really have to put the cold front on here for you to be able to pick out where it is. It's very obvious. 20-degree temperature difference between us and Waco. Currently 43 in San Angelo, 30s from Abilene to Wichita Falls, and falling down to freezing across the Texas Panhandle. This is a dynamic low pressure system off to our northeast that's been producing some severe weather across parts of Arkansas today. There's the front, and then behind the front just a bit, there is a line of some showers and storms that will move east across Texas tonight. We are going to be on the tail end of things, so there will be a line of showers, but I'm not anticipating really a whole lot of action as far as rain. Certainly not a whole lot of action in terms of thunderstorm activity overnight. Currently, we'll zoom in on our radar site that's out near Brackettville. We do have some downpours popping up from north of Del Rio across northwestern Edwards County. They're near Junction. So that is a line of rain that will move east overnight. And we do have a chance of rain with this front. I just don't think it's going to last very long, and it's not going to add up to much. So through midnight here, front is moving through the hill country, approaching the Highway 90 corridor. Between about midnight and 2 a.m., it drops south of Highway 90, so it's through San Antonio by about 2 o'clock. Notice we just have a very disorganized area of showers. I think what we'll end up seeing is just a broken line of rain pass through the overnight hours. By 4 a.m., some lingering shower activity here, even though the front is down to our south. And I can't rule out a few lingering sprinkles through the morning commute, even through about mid-morning. As we get into the afternoon, things start to clear out, especially west of 35. So while we do have a chance for a little bit of rain overnight, what is going to have a much bigger impact on your Monday, that's going to be the temperatures and the wind. So let me walk you through temperatures. Midnight, temperatures starting to fall into the 50s across the hill country. Everyone else is still warm. Midnight to 2 a.m. as the front drops south of Highway 90, temperatures start to fall here in San Antonio. So by 6 o'clock, if you'll be out early in the morning, really regardless of where you are, you will step out into a much colder air mass tomorrow. I expect our temperatures through mid-morning to bottom out in the mid to upper 40s, possibly even low 40s across the hill country. And then with a little bit of afternoon clearing, temperatures will be able to rebound a bit. We'll stay in the 50s here in San Antonio. Some spots west with a little bit more sun could jump into the 60s, but our winds will stay gusty essentially all day. They'll start to back off a little bit tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. So even as our temperatures try to rebound a bit in the afternoon, it is going to stay windy all day. So we're going to keep a chill in the air all day long. It's just going to be such a drastic change from what we were dealing with this weekend. So if you've got friends or family, maybe they were busy this weekend, weren't paying close attention to the forecast, you might want to give them a heads up because tomorrow that's going to be a doozy. Staying cold into Tuesday, improvement Wednesday, Thursday, and then another front by the end of the week. That's the one that could bring us a late season freeze, guys.
Bring it on. This humidity is not my favorite.
Yeah, indoor activities for those folks who are on spring break this week for the first part of the week. Good luck. Instant replay preview right after this. All right, our Spurs start a 7-game homestand against the Lakers tomorrow night while trying to snap out of a 4-game losing streak. With more on that and what's on instant replay tonight, let's check in with our Greg Simmons.
And both DeJounte and Devin are listed as questionable right now. Let's hope they're ready to play by tomorrow. And who's headed to the Boys State basketball tournament in the Alamo Dome this weekend? Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Oh, look how if he gets a free lane to the basket, Bridges is scary. And so is Scary Terry.
Our San Antonio Spurs have 18 games left in the regular season. If they're going to make a move, now is the time. That's after they lost to the Hornets in Charlotte on Saturday night, in a game they were in until the closing seconds.
Dictating in the...
A 7-game homestand might be just what the doctor ordered. Beginning with the Western Conference rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers, can the Spurs get even with the Lakers on the season series, given the fact that Lakers are playing without Anthony Davis?
It feels amazing. I can say amazing, but there's a lot more emotions to it. I know my team knows there's a lot more emotions to it that we can't explain.
And after a weekend of regional semifinals and finals, there's still 3 teams left headed to the state boys high school basketball tournament in the Alamo Dome. One for the first time and another looking for back-to-back titles. And we go one-on-one with Ryan Garcia and the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, before the big fight card in the Alamo Dome next month. All that plus who retires first, Pop or King James tonight. You decide. Instant Replay is live and is right after the night beat.
Another big half hour coming our way.
Looking forward to it.
See you again in a little bit, Greg. We'll see you right after this. Taking a look at stories making headlines around America tonight. People in Iowa are sifting through damage after a tornado ripped through their state. Officials are reporting that 6 people have died, ranging in age from 2 to 72. The National Weather Service says the twister was an EF3, wind speeds between 136 miles an hour and 155 miles per hour. Winterset southwest of Des Moines, one of the hardest hit areas. More than 50 homes damaged across a nearly 14-mile span. Homes completely destroyed, roofs ripped off, debris left where homes once stood.
It was unimaginable, the destruction that we were able to witness on the brief tour that we just went through. Our hearts and our prayers go out to the families who lost loved ones and those who were impacted by the storm.
Roughly 1,700 people lost power as a result of the twister. White House officials say FEMA now working closely with city leaders to provide federal disaster assistance.
A Florida man accused of killing a woman after her body was found in a septic tank. Detectives interviewed several people in the disappearance of 57-year-old Cynthia Cole. Cole was last seen February 24th. A close friend and neighbor was with her that night. Detectives say 34-year-old Keoki DeMitch was working on renovations at Cole's house, and when they questioned him, his answers didn't add up. Sheriff William Snyder said ring camera and security footage showed DeMitch exiting Cole's car near his home the same night Cole was last seen. Neighbors are now left in shock.
Cindy was a beautiful person. It breaks my heart, and I literally out my kitchen window, that's what I see is her house. So every day I drive by, that's what I'm gonna see.
After his arrest, deputies went back to Cole's home and noticed the top of the septic tank looked out of place. When they opened it, they found Cole dead inside. They spent the whole night digging and pulled Cole out in the morning. Investigators say they are still collecting more evidence and that DeMitch could face more charges.
It's a day for 4-leaf clovers, green beer, and one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades in the country. But if there's an emergency, citizens might have trouble getting through to 911 in Pittsburgh. The Union for Emergency Dispatchers there just authorized a strike on the day of the parade. Serafina James with more.
It's frustrating that we didn't get any closer. It's frustrating that the county's not taking these folks' concerns seriously.
SEIU, the labor union representing the dispatchers, went back to the negotiating table with the county on Friday, but in the end failed to reach a deal. Because of that, 911 workers will strike on Saturday, March 12th.
We'll be there Friday at work, but we won't be there Saturday.
The same day, thousands plan to crowd downtown streets for Pittsburgh's St. Patrick's Day Parade.
That's one of the highest call volumes for 911.
So what does that mean if you have an emergency? I reached out to the county for that answer, and a spokesperson told me in part, quote, "We continue to remain focused on the safety of our residents and ensuring that they have access to all the services upon which they rely. Our professional staff at all levels continually plan to implement to not fail at every level of our operations. Allegheny County currently has a budget for 259 dispatchers. However, union officials say there are only 211 employees, a shortage of 48 people.
You will always have folks who are being mandated to stay after work, mandated to come in early, mandated to work on their days off.
Smith also tells me because the dispatch center relocated to Moon Township, now many workers have longer commutes and even longer shifts, sometimes 12 to 16-hour days. And he says this is a public safety crisis.
Can you imagine answering a phone after working 16 hours and trying to direct somebody to do the right thing? You hope that you could do it, but there's always that possibility that something will happen.
Again, that was Serafina James reporting in Pittsburgh. The county there also says they offered to continue working with union representatives through the night, but the union declined that offer. The union has plans to meet with the county again this Thursday in Pittsburgh.
American Express is suspending all its operations in Russia. The company saying today that globally issued American Express cards will no longer work in Russia. Also saying that any cards issued in Russia won't work outside the country. It will also be ending its business operations in Belarus. The move comes as Russia's invasion into Ukraine intensifies.
Also suspending operations in Russia are Visa and MasterCard over the invasion of Ukraine. The credit card company stating that they will work with clients and partners to cease all transactions there. Within days, all transactions initiated with Visa cards issued in Russia will no longer work outside of the country, and any Visa cards issued outside of Russia will no longer work within the country. Meanwhile, Netflix streaming service also announcing today that it will stop selling and providing its services to Russia. Earlier this week, the streaming service paused all of its production in Russia, including 4 original Russian TV series. In another move, Netflix is making its documentary Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom, available to watch for free. Netflix has not specified what would happen to existing subscriber accounts in Russia or when or if service there might resume.
Elon Musk says foreign government officials have told his satellite internet company to block Russian news sources amid the invasion of Ukraine. Musk tweeted Friday night, Starlink has been told by some governments, not Ukraine, to block Russian news sources. We will not do so unless at gunpoint, end quote. He followed it up with, sorry to be a free speech absolutist. Musk sent a truckload of Starlink antennas to Ukraine this week. This was in response to a plea from the country's vice prime minister amid fears that Ukrainians could lose internet access.
As the world's newest war refugees enter Poland from Ukraine, they arrive to an unexpected sound. A man at the Medyka-Poland border crossing playing his heart out just for them. At the very worst moment in these refugees' lives, a German musician is offering them this kind welcome. David Martello traveled from Germany. He is the piano man playing for peace, and the message is received. This is just another stop on the Piano Man's peace tour.
Before I die or something happens, I at least want to do something. Maybe I can soften Putin's heart with music, because everybody loves music. I bet Putin loves music too.
Back in 2020, after the police murder of George Floyd, there he was with his piano healing hearts at George Floyd Square. Nearly 2 years later and 5,000 miles away, he's now playing for people in Poland. His next stop, Lviv, Ukraine.
Alrighty, hope you had a great weekend. It was warm and muggy, definitely a lot more muggy today. The mugginess will be short-lived thanks to cold front coming through tonight. We've been talking a lot about this front and for good reason. It is going to change up our weather in some big ways by tomorrow. It's off to our north tonight, but while we're sleeping, it moves through. And by the time you head out the door in the morning, cold and windy conditions. But it's one of 2 cold fronts in the forecast this spring break week. For some, we'll talk more about these 2 fronts and get you ready for some topsy-turvy weather this week coming up in just a little bit. Katie?
Truckers protesting in the Freedom Convoy now making their way through Canada. After the break, what they are asking of President Biden. Truckers from across the U.S. descended on Washington, D.C. and the area around it to protest mask mandates and vaccine requirements. And they're calling on President Joe Biden to end the COVID-19 national emergency declaration.
And the White House has threatened to veto the bill if it gets to the president's desk. Reporter Nick Minnock has the story from Washington.
I think the truckers are brave to do what they've done. It's been a long ride for them, and I'm really proud of them.
Tired of vaccine and mask mandates and other COVID restrictions, families, truckers, and moms in minivans from all over the country circled Washington, D.C. on the Capitol Beltway twice to send the president and lawmakers a message.
I feel that government overreach has come to a peak, and that the people's voice needs to be heard.
People gathered on overpasses in Maryland and Virginia to cheer the convoy on and show their support.
I'm a patriot, and I always have been, and I'm really outraged at what's been done to the country under COVID.
My father was a truck driver, and he was a firm believer in just being able to work without any mandates or government overreach.
D.C. Homeland Security says the convoy stretched 30 miles in length. Organizers say it was 60 miles in length. Cindy Hurley, a photographer, wanted to capture the moment the truckers and convoy entered the Beltway.
I feel strongly that this is a moment in our history.
They need to be lobbying, not just circling the Beltway.
And that's what some of the truckers plan to do this week as they meet with members of Congress on Capitol Hill, asking them to end the COVID-19 national emergency declaration. But several Democrats oppose that, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who says the best way to ensure the U.S. keeps schools open and cases low is by staying at the ready. In Bethesda, Maryland, Nick Minnock reporting.
Well, at the box office this weekend, Batman racking up almost $130 million its first weekend out, clearly taking first place. Find out where Spider-Man No Way Home still stands and which movie is trotting in third. So we've got spring break. I heard a lot of people saying with this humidity, oh, spring's finally here.
Let's go to the beach.
Not so fast.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Yeah. If you're watching and you've got friends or family that were busy this weekend, maybe weren't paying close attention to the forecast, go ahead, send them a friendly text or something, because they're going to want to know about the changes coming tomorrow. Yes, this is your forecast for Monday, March 7th. Oof, 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 oof. Our temperatures will stay in the 60s, even low 70s for a few more hours. And then our cold front comes in between about midnight and 2 a.m. And then our temperatures really start to fall pretty quickly. There will be a steep temperature drop with this front, such that by the time you're heading out the door in the morning, our temperatures will be in the low 50s, upper 40s. They'll make a bit of a rebound into the afternoon. You can see they're mid 50s as we get closer to about 4 or 5 o'clock. But with this wind holding steady all day long, there is going to be a chill in the air tomorrow from start to finish. And essentially, it's just going to be so different than the weather we had in place this weekend. 75 right now in Del Rio, 75, 71 here at the airport. For some comparison, these temperatures currently are where our average afternoon highs are this time of year. So it is quite warm out there, also very muggy. Our dew point numbers have shot into the upper 60s, getting close to 70. So it is starting to feel almost oppressively humid out there. It's just very muggy. Across the area, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Not a whole lot to see, though, in terms of rain. Our front is starting, though, to drop into the northern hill country. There's one lone shower there in central Val Verde County. Also some rain up near Junction. And what radar is also starting to pick up on here north of Fredericksburg in Gillespie County. Looks kind of like right along where the front would be, a couple of showers been talking about this for the past few days. This front is not going to help us out with rain. And in fact, I think this Futurecast model is kind of overdoing things in the rain department into tomorrow. Nonetheless, overnight after midnight, as the front starts to drop through the hill country, there likely will be a few showers, likely a broken line of some rain that will continue to drop south along and south of 90 through about 2 o'clock this morning. But by dawn tomorrow, the front itself will be well to the south. There could be a couple of lingering sprinkles or very light showers. That's what this Futurecast model is painting, but I don't expect radar to be this busy. Few little lingering spurts here or there, certainly possible through mid-morning. But this front is not going to be something that brings us a lot of rain. If you're lucky enough to get a shower, you're likely looking at less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. That's it. What is going to impact your day tomorrow a lot more is the wind and the temperature drop. So a windy day tomorrow. This front will bring a lot of wind with it. Our winds will gust beginning overnight and through a good portion of the day tomorrow, up near 35, 40 miles per hour. So gusty conditions through a good portion of the day. And things will be gusty by early tomorrow morning. So for those that are not on spring break this week and getting out early, getting the kiddos to school, these are your wind chills or your feels like temperature in the morning. So when you pair the wind with air temperatures falling into the 40s and 50s, this is what it will feel like. Again, a shock to the system compared to what we were dealing with this weekend. So have the jackets and light coats ready for tomorrow. Again, another look at your day on Monday. I want to kind of really point out here the clearing that could happen as we get into late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. Any clearing we do see tomorrow will quickly be replaced by clouds moving back in. So this is Monday night into Tuesday morning. There will be a little disturbance skirting the Gulf Coast. This is going to bring back a lot of clouds for us Tuesday. Some rain more likely along the Gulf Coast over toward the Houston area, but we could have a few sprinkles here or there. Our air will be very dry on Tuesday. So any rain that tries to fall, a lot of it will likely evaporate, but we could have a few sprinkles. But what this cloud cover does Tuesday is it keeps us cold again. So starting off with 2 unseasonably cold days, better Wednesday and Thursday, and then a second front Friday. Friday night and Saturday morning, that's where we have the potential for a late season freeze across the area. So we'll keep tabs on that for you this week. Keep checking back, guys.
See what's happening there next weekend, Court?
I do.
Yeah.
I see it.
Fun.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't talked about that yet.
It's on your graphic.
You put it there.
She knew about it.
We'll be right back.
Death on the Nile floated down to 5th place, earning $2.7 million. Spider-Man No Way Home made $4.4 million for 4th place and a domestic total of $786 million. Dog trotted into 3rd place with $6 million.
There are places out there you can't find on any map.
Uncharted lost the top spot, but crossed the $100 million mark in domestic box office with an $11 million weekend.
You're pretty good at that.
Nothing came close to The Batman, which racked up $128.5 million, easily the best debut of the year and second only to Spider-Man No Way Home for the best opening since the pandemic began. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Los Angeles Lakers are in town for their 4th and final regular season game against the Spurs tomorrow night.
And Leary Ramirez visits with the Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia before boxing returns to the Alamo Dome next month. With more on what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's head over to Greg Simmons.
Yeah, another big boxing card in the Dome. This is great news. And who has the best boxing nickname at KSAT 12? The sports guys will debate that and more coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. The Los Angeles Lakers have beaten the Spurs with Anthony Davis and without LeBron James in the first 2 meetings of the season, but in their last, the Spurs won in L.A. without A.D. and with King James. Now here's a chance for the Spurs to get even on the season series without Anthony Davis again, and the TAP State Tournament has wrapped up. How did our teams do, and who has left to play for a state title in the Alamo Dome this week? We will show you.
I literally cannot not fight in an exciting fashion. My heart will not let me.
All right, we go one-on-one with the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, and Ryan Garcia before Garcia headlines another boxing card headed to the Alamo Dome next month. And how is his wrist after having surgery? And what do they think of seeing fellow boxers return to the Ukraine to fight the Russians? And who has the best boxing nickname here at KSAT 12? Is it Tim Big Baby Gerber or Steve the Assassin Spreester? The sports guys get to decide. SAFC gets ready for their season opener this Saturday. All that plus a brand new Scholar Athlete. Instant Replay is live. And it's next. Are you feeling left out though, Courtney?
I'm a little upset about it.
Courtney Calamity Friedman?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
I like that better.
I didn't realize we were using these on the air when Daniel asked me. I thought we were just having fun.
Just did.
Oh, wow. Big Baby Gerber wins.
We'll look forward to that, Greg. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Big Baby.
That's all of our time. Thanks so much for watching. Be
sure to tune into GMSA, and all new Instant Replay starts right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Instant Replay, and happy spring break for those of you who have this week off. Our San Antonio Spurs are just 18 games left of the regular season, and there's going to be a push to the playoffs. Now is the time. That's because they have managed now to put 3.5 games between themselves and New Orleans Pelicans, who own the 10th and play-in position in the Western Conference. At the same time, keep Greg Popovich still 2 games out of making NBA history. That's after the Spurs suffered their 4th straight loss in Charlotte on Saturday night and still have yet to win since completing their 8-game rodeo road trip. This was a tight game from start to finish, and what a performance by Keldon Johnson, who scored a career-high 33 points in the loss, but only had 5 in the second half. DeJounte Murray was right behind him with 25 points, 10 assists, and 1 rebound shy of another triple-double. Joshua Prebo had 10 points off the bench, and the rookie gave the Spurs a lead with just over 8.5 minutes left to play. But Terry Rozier had 31 points, including a three-pointer with just under 5.5 to play to push the Hornets in front, 113-107. The Spurs got close at the end when Murray hits this step-back jumper to get the Spurs within 2, 117-115 with under 2 minutes to play. And again with a driving layup with under a minute left. But once again, the Hornets make their free throws down the stretch, and they win it 123-117.
Just, the end of quarters are still a learning situation for us. The end of the third quarter, we were up 6, and in about a minute and a half, we were down 1. And the same thing at the end of the game. So for a young group, that's the knowledge we got to take in and the understanding of how solid you have to be during those situations.
All right, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich can tie Don Nelson's record of 1,335 victories when the Spurs host the Lakers tomorrow night at the AT&T Center. The Spurs and the Lakers are a classic rivalry, but right now both teams are in positions they're not used to. The Lakers are struggling to just stay in the top 10 teams in the Western Conference. The Spurs are trying their best to make it to the top 10. The Lakers have won 3 out of their last 10 games, and LeBron James is carrying the team right now. LeBron is having an incredible season considering he's 37 years old, and this is his 19th season in the NBA. Having to carry the team has placed LeBron 3rd in the league for points per game at 29.4. The next best help LeBron has right now is Russell Westbrook, who is averaging just over 18 points per game, which is the 3rd lowest of his career, going all the way back to the 2010 season. Westbrook also has 7.6 rebounds, 7.2 assists per game. The Lakers have beaten the Spurs twice this season and won once, and tomorrow's matchup with LA will be their final one this season. Let's take a closer look at LeBron's stats, and this is unbelievable. He's averaging 29.4 points per game, 52.2% shooting field goal percentage, 76.4% free throw, 8.1 rebounds per game, 6.2 assists, and 1.5 steals. LeBron James leads the team in points, rebounds, steals, blocks. Power forward Anthony Davis averages more rebounds and blocks per game, but he may be out for the rest of the season with a right foot sprain. So that means LeBron's the current leader in all of those categories. So here's a look at the Spurs schedule this week. They're all home games. They're all part of a 7-game home stand, starting with the Lakers, of course, tomorrow at 7:30, the AT&T Center. The Toronto Raptors going to play on Wednesday. How about the Utah Jazz on Friday? And it starts to set a back-to-back. Saturday, hosting Indiana. The start of the United Soccer League regular season is here. San Antonio FC has been busy preparing, and there are a lot of new faces on the team. Gone is Central Catholic alum and star Jose Gallegos, who is now playing in Denmark with his new club. Our one familiar face that is back this year, 28-year-old goalkeeper Matt Cardone. He's been with the team since 2016 as a club leader in games played, minutes played, clean sheets, and saves. Now it's all about taking the next step. That's after the team lost in penalty kick shootout in the Western Conference Finals in 2021.
It's a whole new season. Teams look different. Our team has different players. It's a difficult league, and it's going to be a very long season. So just kind of like what we did last season, that we got to break it down and take it game by game, because that's what gave us success last season.
We've set a very high bar for ourselves, but we also understand it's a process, and we have to commit to the process, that day-to-day grind. And if we do so, we potentially put ourselves in a good position to continue to progress and be in playoffs for a third straight year.
All right, the team revealed new jersey kits for the season last week, and Saturday's home opener is a blackout night because it'll be the debut of the all-black primary jerseys. There will be even pyrotechnics for the player walkouts, which is a first for the program. Just take a look at that matchup. It'll be Saturday night, Toyota Field against Detroit FC. State basketball titles are up for grabs in the Alamo Dome and at West High School this week. The Clark girls battle the defending state champions DeSoto in the program's first Class 6A state semifinals appearance on Friday night. Aaliyah Roberson led the Cougars with 16 points, but the game got away from Clark in the fourth quarter in a 56-47 loss. Still, the Cougars are proud of their historic season.
It felt great to just be recognized with these girls. They're like my family, so everything that I do with them is just great, and I'm just happy that we got this far, but I wish we could have got just one more game, but it's okay.
I just told them that I was happy to have them as my senior season. I'm going to remember this forever. It's an amazing group of girls, and I wouldn't have wanted to make it this far with anyone else.
The Battling Billies of Fredericksburg were back at state for the second time in the last 3 years, but couldn't quite pull out the victory against Brownsboro. Laura Dans posted a team-high 10 points in the 50-41 loss, but she is one of 12 players who will be back next year.
There will be a lot of people returning next year, and so they know what it takes to get to the state tournament, how hard your grit has to be, and what it's like. This has been such a fun experience, and this is what every team strives to be for. Going into this year, we all had the same goal, state, and we achieved it. We didn't stop until we got there. There were a couple things that we need to fix going into next year, but I think and I know that this team will get those things fixed, and we'll be back. We'll be back.
In TAPS competition, the Etonian girls, TMI boys, and Church John Paul II boys all advanced to the state championship games, but each came up short of the ultimate prize. We have highlights and reaction from all three games available right now on Big Game Coverage page at KSAT.com. Here are the key matchups here for this week's boys state tournament. The defending Class 3 champion Cole Cougars have faced Hitchcock in the semifinals Thursday at 3 that evening. Bernie champion will play first UIL state tournament game in program history against Mansfield Timberview in Class 5A semifinals at 8:30 p.m. And on Friday afternoon, the Bernie Greyhounds face Wichita Falls Hershey in the Class 4A semifinals at 3 p.m. The NFL Scouting Combine wrapped up today with defensive backs taking the field at Lucas Oil Stadium. Former UTSA cornerback Tarek Woolen clocked an unofficial time at 4.26 seconds. It's tied for the fourth fastest time of any player at the Combine since 2003. Former Baylor Bear and Steel graduate J.T. Woods ran the 40 today, posting a time of 4.36 seconds. Time now for tonight's Instant Replay poll question. Who retires first, Greg Popovich or LeBron James? Vote now. We'll have the results at the end of the broadcast tonight. When we return, it's time to prepare for boxing in the Alamo Dome.
One of our stops in this world tour that we had with Canelo had to be San Antonio.
And now that the plan is being used for Ryan Garcia, one of the most confident and popular boxers today, how does he feel coming off wrist surgery, and what do they think about seeing their fellow boxers return to Ukraine to fight the Russians? And the sports guys talk about the latest Spurs struggles, their matchup against LeBron tomorrow night, and who has some of the best boxing nicknames in the KSAT 12 newsroom. Plus, Bruce Bowen shares his wisdom with his TMI basketball team when Instant Replay continues live next.